Hey, welcome Broken World Entertainment, and this is the review for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So, I'll give a very short review and then I'll go into full spoilers. So, I'll give you fair warning before spoilers. So, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, obviously the sequel to Black Panther. Is it any good? What's it about? Where do we go? Well, it's about the aftermath of the death of T'Challa, of course, because of the real life unfortunate passing of Chadwick Boseman, where the Queen and Shuri really are trying to deal with the aftermath of it. And Namor appears, who should be Atlantean, but he's not. He's basically Mayan in this. And they're basically going to fight over vibranium. That vibranium is, in fact, not just in Wakanda, it's in whatever the place is called, where Namor's from, Tull Canyon or something like that. And you basically have a Black Panther movie with no Black Panther. So, I can't give too much away because it's really in the spoilery stuff. So, we'll talk about very briefly now my overall thoughts of it. It's garbage. It really is. It does not capture the spirit even of the first movie. Would I put it down to the presence of Chadwick Boseman not being there? Not necessarily. He's definitely a huge miss for the movie, but it's everything else as well. The movie is truly a mess. It really is. It's all over the place. There's even very bad editing where it literally jumps from one scene to another. And it doesn't line up. You're kind of, that's very jarring. Performances wise, Angela Bassett gives a great performance. Even though the story is terrible and stuff, what she does with what she has, she does a good job. Winston Duke as M'Baku is great again as well, even though he is barely in this movie. And I mean barely. You've practically seen every scene he's in the trailers. And the woman, I'm not sure the actress's name, who plays Ukayu, for the most part, she did quite well in it as well. There's a few iffy moments with her, but she's still quite a likeable character. Other than that though, everyone else sucks. And I do mean everyone. Everyone else is unlikable. It's far too long. You've probably heard that even with reviews that have praised the movie, where they've said it is too long. It really is. There's nothing in the movie that determines that it should be as long as it is. And Ironheart. Whew. We're really going to get into her in the spoiler part of this. But yeah, not a good character. Not a likable character. And I think that Disney Plus show is in big trouble. What would I give it? If I was giving it 5 something out of 5, I'd probably give it a 1.5 out of 5. And that 1.5 is literally for Angela Bassett, Winston Duke, and the woman who plays Akayu. I really can't remember her name. Other than that, everything else is trash. The fights, I think there's only realistically 3 main fights. Well, 2 main fights and 1 small fight, and they're bad. The effects are terrible. The story is just god awful, and the movie in general is a mess. So I'd give it 1.5 out of 5. And with that, I'm gonna have to go into the spoilers now. So this is it. You're being warned. Full spoilers ahead. Give you 3 seconds. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Spoilers ahead. Right. T'Challa. The movie opens up with Shuri running in to her lab trying to come up with a cure. That you find out T'Challa is dying from an unknown virus. We don't see him. He dies off screen. She's trying to come up with the cure as she gets the heart-shaped flower, which is meant to cure him, which is only at 38% accuracy. She turns and her mother is there, and her mother tells him, your brother has gone to the ancestors. And we're straight to the funeral. It's so stupid. They killed T'Challa off screen by an unknown virus. It's almost like he had the coof. The old COVID. Huh? So stupid. They could have said he died in battle. You know, Gary from Nerdrotic pointed out a great idea would have been, because the suit covers the face, you could have had someone in the suit fighting, and all of a sudden turns and there's Galactus. But no, he dies on his bed. We later find out from Shuri herself that not just did he die from the virus, and I think this part is in incredibly poor taste from Marvel and Disney. She says that her brother died from a virus that he kept hidden. He was ill with the virus. He kept it hidden until it was too late, when he eventually told Shuri that he was dying. That is very on the nose, and yeah, that doesn't sit right with me, because as we know, Chadwick Boseman kept his cancer quiet, obviously until it was too late and the world found out. Thought that was very disrespectful that they actually done that. And she synthesizes that heart flower from the first movie, the ones that the Black Panther drinks to give him the strength and stuff. She synthesizes that and becomes Black Panther at the end of the movie. Why does she have to become Black Panther? Well, a scientist invented a device that can detect vibranium, and it's detected in the Atlantic Ocean. US team is the whole movie, by the way. The whole movie is about vibranium. So this research team is attacked. Obviously, it's Namor who attacks. Namor shows up in Wakanda, which we've seen the clip. And he actually asks for Wakanda's help. He says, look, you've revealed vibranium to the world. We need your help to kind of hide it again, basically. And they tell him no. So he's like, right, well then, if you don't help, I'm going to come back with my army that you aren't going to be able to face and defeat. And I'm going to burn the entire world and everyone in it. Which, ironically, Shuri wants to do. Oh, by the way, this takes place exactly 1 year after the death of T'Challa. Who's the scientist who invented this thing? Riri Williams. Who, when we meet, is just an absolutely unlikable character. So much so, her very first introduction, she's at college, walks up to a guy, whips his phone out of his hand, and starts transferring money to herself. And he's like, well, what do you... Oh, sorry, I was going to pay. She's charging people for doing their homework for them. And she says to the guy, it was 800 you owed me yesterday. Today it's 1,000. She's just so unlikable. She invented the device to find the vibranium within a couple of months as a school project. And the only reason she done it is because the professor told her she couldn't do it. She wouldn't be able to do it. She's absolute trash. So Namor wants to get her and kill her to hide. So she's the only one who knows how to make this thing. Namor does attack Wakanda, you've seen those scenes as well in the trailers and the clips. Where all the water comes from, don't know, because it's pretty much a landlocked city or country, whatever. Sure, there's a river running through, but the amount of water they bring in is weird. Shiri goes with Namor willingly. So the clip you have of Shiri and whatever thing, Caillou, the scene where they go to get Riri Williams, Caillou was told to go get this girl and says to the Queen, Romanda, hey, I should bring Shiri, it could do her good. And she agrees to it. She's like, yeah, cool. Namor finds them because the FBI are tracking them. The FBI, by the way, all the attacks on everyone that's looking for the vibranium, the US government and military thinks it's the Wakandans doing it. And the irony is, earlier in the movie, we see Queen Ramonda at a UN Senate, I think it is. It's in Switzerland, so. And what ends up happening is while she's there, the French send our troops to try and steal vibranium from the Wakandans. All these governments of the world are constantly trying to attack. Because Black Panther is gone, they're trying to attack and steal vibranium. And yet, they want to go to war because they think Wakanda is attacking them. So, it's so stupid. So she willingly goes with Namor, and Namor's like, you're like me, you just want to destroy everything, you know, you're filled with vengeance, all the rest. How did he get his name? He's over 100 years old, and Spanish conquistadors gave him his name. His village, his people, and his mother, who was pregnant with him at the time, were dying of the plague, basically, that the Spanish brought over to the Amazon. They took a herb which is very like the heart-shaped flower, but it ended up that it changed them and they'd have to live in the water. They're only blue, by the way, out of water. Their normal skin tone is when they're in the water. So when he had a full life with his mother, she grew old, died, wanted to be buried back on land. So when they come back to land, Spanish conquistadors are there, enslaving the inhabitants. They slaughtered them, and one of them, as dying, says, you're the son of Satan, and calls him Namor, and tells him he's the boy who grew up without love, which is complete nonsense because he just had basically a full life with his mother. Just so stupid. And then Okoye goes back and tells the Queen, like, oh yeah, let me go back and fight and get Shiri back and let me die for my country. And the Queen tells her, no, like, it's all her fault that Shiri was taken. It's like, you agreed to let Shiri go, and Shiri went willingly. Okoye didn't know that because she was born in the water. But we eventually get to the whole fight of Wakanda versus Tolkienia, I think it's called. Shiri manages to successfully synthesize the flower thing, drinks it, has a vision, thinks she's about to meet her mother, doesn't, meets Killmonger, who tells her her brother was too noble and she needs to be more like him. And her and Namor have a big fight, and here's where one of the big scenes comes. So they figure out, okay, to kill or to stop Namor and weaken him, he needs to be in dry land. So they bring him up onto a shuttle. They're out in the ocean on a big, huge boat. Where the Wakandans got this boat, don't know, but they have it. So those Wakandans, like M'Baku and stuff, are fighting these Namor's people on that boat, while Riri Williams is flying around in this god-awful Ironheart suit. The effects for all this, by the way, are absolutely trash. But Shiri takes Namor up into one of them shuttles, whatever you want to call them, where he's getting weaker. He destroys the ship, and here's where one of the things, that ship, the boat, is out in the middle of the ocean. when their shuttle comes apart and crashes on land, the boat is right there pulling up onto the land. It's so strange. But they have a fight. He stabs Shiri. She should be dead because he runs her through with a spear. And I mean fully. And pins her to a rock. She breaks off the spear. Walks off the thing. And then it's jumping around like nothing happened. Beats Namor, gets him down, sticks the spear to his throat, sees a vision of her mother saying, show him who you are. And she lets him live and tells him the Wakandan people will protect your oceans and protect your vibranium, blah, blah, blah. And she becomes the new Black Panther. Riri Williams is sent home, but she can't bring that red suit. They can't let her take that, which she's okay with, which is obviously why there's that other weird, bizarre, crappy looking suit for the show. And all is right in the world again. And it ends with Shiri believing in the ancestors, all that type of shit. Sitting on the beach. It gives you quick visions of scenes with her and T'Challa in the first film. And it ends, and one mid-credit scene, which is whatever the character's name is, that was T'Challa's girlfriend, fiance, wife, whatever she was in the original film. Her, who, by the way, is useless in this movie. She has a son who is T'Challa's. He says a name. She's like, that's not... They're talking. She's like, did my mother meet him? She's like, yeah. Oh, by the way, the Queen Ramonda dies. Namor kills her. And he says, that's not my real name. She's like, what is your name? He says, my name is T'Challa, son of King T'Challa. And that's where the movie ends. And what's funny is you can see online reactions in the cinema to people waiting for the very last credit to roll, thinking there was an after credit scene. Some of them, the screen just went blank and no, there was no after credit scene, and people freaked out. But another one showed it was a goddamn cell phone commercial, and people lost their shit. But anyway, that's it. The movie sucks. The acting sucks. The new Black Panther Shiri was terrible. She was an unbearable bitch for the entire movie. Riri Williams is just... Oh my good Christ, that show is in huge trouble. I can tell you that now. This thing's not making $1 billion. No way. It's too long. Nothing happens. And there's one scene. Martin Freeman's character, he gets arrested. Yeah, Julianne Dreyfus's character is in here. Apparently those two had a thing. Arrest him. Ukoyu breaks him out at the end out of the van. And he's there handcuffed. And she starts laughing and goes, wow, now I truly have seen everything. A white man in chains. Anyway, the movie is terrible. 1.5 out of 5 I'd give it. It's not worth anyone's time. And with that, I'll leave it there for this one. So, watch it at your own peril if you choose to. And with that, cheers. I'll catch you in the next one.